I did not choose to do this topic. As you all know, I am on self-induced punishment. I will refer to him as number 10 for the entirety of this conversation, not by his name for the sake of avoiding any possible slander. With that being said, Shady, is it crazy to say that number 10 is the greatest young quarterback in NFL history?
It's not crazy. Although the Kobe Mamba was that was a little weird. Like, Kobe at 23 years old had some titles. Like, let's slow down with that. But I gotta give it to Herbert. I gotta give it to him. Like, as much as people don't want to believe it, like, numbers are numbers. They don't lie. People lie. Acho lies. Dave always lies. But numbers don't. And he got the numbers. Look, anybody in the first 3 years, he has more yards, passing yards. There was more passing touchdowns. Like, that matters. And one thing, don't forget about this, because the arguments you all talk about. Going into the Hall of Fame, they only talk about Super Bowl wins. They don't say, oh, he won so many games, but not Super Bowl. No, Super Bowl wins. And after they go to Super Bowl wins, they go see his stats. And his stats say, every quarterback that ever played this game, I have more yards and touchdowns in the first 3 years. I gotta respect that. I mean, and there's guys like Peyton Manning was super great, but his first couple years, he wasn't just like winning all these games. So I can't hate on the young man.
Second year is 13-3.
Gotta respect it.
Joy Taylor, is it crazy to say that number 10 is the greatest young quarterback in NFL?
Well, they did say potential. They said potential, though. Potential matters. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, they had to say potentially because it's
potentially,
factually incorrect. So to say that he is would be outrageous. So potential must be in there. It's like saying alleged on television. Always say allegedly.
Okay.
It's important.
I'm new at this, thank you.
Always say allegedly. Like potentially, because he's not. In order for him to do that, he would have to win an MVP this year and a Super Bowl. Well, he's not going to win the MVP, and he might not even make the playoffs. He's not even in the guaranteed
playoffs right now.
Playoffs.
They're in the playoffs right now.
But there's still some games to play.
3 games left.
So let's see, because he might miss the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row. He might make it. I didn't make any such promises to Chargers fans, so I'm just going to say what I want to say.
Do you?
I'm tired of this. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Stop erasing people's legacies in order to make arguments for things that are attractive to you. We all know Justin Herbert is beautiful. We love that. As a person who has very much benefited off their aesthetic their entire lives, I understand and I appreciate it, okay? But this is not a beauty pageant. Stop doing this. Patrick Mahomes is at the top of this conversation. And whenever you want to start with number 2, let me know. If you want to put Justin Herbert at number 2, that's fine with me. What did Patrick Mahomes do in his first 3 years, guys? Not his rookie season. Not his rookie season. Of course, we know he did not play his rookie season.
MVP and a Super Bowl.
Thank you.
And a Super Bowl.
Thank you. I don't care about these little numbers. I don't care about these numbers. By the way, for all the other conversations and the mental gymnastics we want to do to justify things, Justin Herbert was not winning this year until he got his best players on the field. So are we saying that Justin Herbert is only winning because of the players around him? We're not going to have that conversation because that's going to make people very upset in their little feelings. And I don't even think that. I think Justin Herbert is incredibly talented. He's a franchise quarterback. He's a great face of the league. He's going to have an unbelievable career. And by the way, I was early on Justin Herbert. Well, all y'all were like, I don't really know how he's going to be in the league. He's going to be great. So you're welcome for the prediction as well. I love Justin Herbert, but stop putting him above people that have accomplished more. This is not a beauty pageant. We have statistics, and then we have Super Bowls, we have MVPs, getting numbers, but he passes the eye test. That's what it is. We know this is your boo, y'all. We know this, okay? We get it. We see him. We see you together, okay? This power couple thing that's going on. It upsets me. It upsets us. I'm talking about the media and Justin Herbert. Because what it does is it puts Justin Herbert in a bad situation. It's actually unfair to Justin Herbert because it makes the conversation around him toxic. It does. It makes the conversation around him toxic. It diminishes his talent. And more importantly, it erases what people have actually accomplished.
And if I may, people have to bring him back down to earth.
Right.
And in order to bring him back down to earth, now it appears you're being critical.
And I'm not being critical.
You're just being factual.
All I'm saying is facts.
Correct. Actual.
I'm just reciting history. I'm reciting things that have already happened. I'm sure Google is free in your area. Look it up.
Joy's right. I mean, like, when you share a division with Patrick Mahomes, where are you supposed to go? But
is he old now or something?
No, seriously, Patrick Mahomes is only 27, by the way. Like, is he not a young quarterback anymore? Like, come on, man, he can barely rent a car. But like, okay, but I respectfully, I don't think it's as insulting as like this particular. We've comparing him to Tom Brady. gross. Please don't do that to really anyone. But, like, to say, like, he has done some historical things. In 3 years, he passed Peyton Manning for the most passing yard. And, like, Peyton Manning is widely regarded as, like, what, 1B? Like, he's one of the 5 best to ever do this. So to pass Peyton Manning, to pass Andrew Luck for touchdowns in the first 3 years of his career, he's had 2,300-yard games. He's not done with his 3rd season yet. So, like, every other time he goes out there, he's bombing away for 300 yards. Still Mahomes. The answer's still Mahomes.
Mahomes
Please don't come
Mahomes
at
is
me.
still the guy.
But I don't think this is as crazy as some of the other claims that people have made about Justin Herbert.
I won't use the word crazy. I will use the word hyperbole. If y'all don't know the definition, exaggeration to make a point. I believe saying that number 10 is the greatest young quarterback in NFL history, it is hyperbole. Because Patrick Mahomes, by age 24, was a NFL MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, and had won a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, by age 24, was a unanimous MVP. Joe Burrow, by age 24, had been to a Super Bowl. And for context, because context matters, the numbers that put number 10 in this conversation are the fact that 3 consecutive seasons to start a career with 4,000 yards. You want to know who else would have done that if not for injury? Joe Burrow. Remember, it was injury that allowed Justin Herbert to do it.
You said, what you say?
If not for injury, Joe Burrow. We don't have to. We do not have to.
I'll play that
but
game.
Remember, it was injury that allowed Justin Herbert to do it. Tyrod Taylor getting stabbed by his own athletic trainer. Do not forget the context of things that matter. So I'm not going to slight number 10. I won't say that it is crazy, but it is absolutely hyperbole. And to Joy's point, Joy says it is beyond hyperbole. But to Joy's point, you have to appear as if you're sliding Justin Herbert. And really, we're just trying to bring the conversation back to equilibrium. Okay. Like, if somebody's going to compare him to Kobe Bryant, then we have to remind the world that number 10 is not Kobe. Everybody calm down.
No, well, I mean, that's not that bad. Like, that was a little crazy with the comparison, but I get it. Maybe Mahomes is like Jordan, right? So it's all love. Like, Mahomes is the guy still. But what we can't do is disregard these stats, though.
But we're not disregarding them, and that's what these kind of claims do. Because, look, we know when you fall in love, you just start to say crazy things. You start to do crazy things. Your friends are like, yo, are you sure you want to do this?
Like, yo, you feeling
like,
okay?
Yeah. Like, you're
what are you talking about?
No, but hold up, but Jordan,
moving to Bali now?
But them numbers, though, like, that's...
They are. But
that matters, though.
But they don't matter more than accomplishments. And we also know Patrick Mahomes was also putting up numbers. So freak numbers are impressive, and you should be impressed with Justin Herbert. This is the problem with these comps. This is the problem with these claims, is that those of us who are not in love, who are just enjoying the sport, can be like, wait a minute. Like, hold on a second. Let's not just jump people who have accomplished more by the standards that we have set within the sport, within wins and losses and playoffs and awards and all of those things, on top of the fact that Patrick Mahomes is actually visually better than Justin Herbert as well.
So wait, can I? So
please,
real quick. So how would you word it? Because I was going to ask you a question. If he has more,
Justin Herbert is a great young quarterback.
No, but I'm saying we talking about like ever, right? That the question was like ever. So my thing is, if he has more yards than all these great quarterbacks in their first 3 years, more touchdowns, does that count like a? That has to count for something. That's my thing.
It does. But then the headline says he's potentially the greatest young quarterback in NFL history. How could he possibly do more than what Patrick Mahomes did in his tenure within the same amount of time?
Yeah.
How could he possibly do more? He can't. He literally can't, because he's not going to win the MVP this year. He wasn't in the MVP.
That's a good argument. I get your point.
I have another thing. Like, we also have to factor in inflation. I hate having, like, too intellectual of conversations.
You're trying to get me into economics right now?
Like, all right, let's break it down very simply. Inflation. John D. Rockefeller, if his wealth right now would be $300 billion. Sure. It was hundreds of millions back in the day. Inflation, things appreciate in time.
Okay.
So, of course, quarterbacks today are going to have more passing yards than quarterbacks in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and the 10s, because the game of football, you play more games. So that's just basic inflation.
You're throwing them more now. Yeah.
You throwing them more now.
But also, wait, is Trey Aikman, is he still with Fox?
You can talk about it however you want.
So, like for example, like, he's a guy that didn't do, like, that much.
Not at all.
But he had a lot of success. They won championships and all that. But he was the weakest link on that offense. But they still carry his name as if he's
Yeah, but also because
I would take Herbert in front of him.
Multiple chips. Yeah, but that's not the conversation. It isn't a matter of is Justin Herbert a great quarterback. The question is he the greatest young quarterback ever? And it's no. And that's not a slight to Justin Herbert, who's having an unbelievable historical start to his NFL career. So stop making the conversation toxic by diminishing other people's actual accomplishments that didn't happen 3 decades ago. It happened like 4 years ago. We were old enough to remember that happening, right? Like we had HD televisions and stuff. So some of the highlights are still on social media.
It was before COVID, but I remember it.
Just take a deep breath and relax. Like just loosen it up a little bit and stop making the conversation so toxic.
Like Emmitt Smith has the most rushing yards of all time.
Yep.
Right? And if I had more yards than any other running back ever in the first 3 years, I don't care if it's Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders. I think Barry's the best of all time. But I'm bragging about that. I'm better than all y'all dudes, man. Why you better than us? I got more yards than y'all. How can you argue that? We play the same position. You had your 3 years, I had my 3 years. My 3 years is better than yours.
That's like saying you were on more magazine covers, but I won Miss America, Miss USA.
I don't know about the pageant.
It's a beauty pageant.
Yeah, I don't
because
know
statistics are great and they're important.
I'm just talking about.
But we also wins and losses and championships and MVPs.
I throw touchdown passes. You do the same thing. I have more than you. I throw
but like
passing
I
yards.
can't hold all of my trophies, and you don't have any.
Yeah, and you have none. You got all hands free to throw all those passes.
Everybody can't win championships, but we all can have a chance to throw passes. I got more passes than y'all got.
But don't you think everybody has the opportunity to win championships?
I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real.
Please do.
Like Patrick Mahomes is he's a lot better than Herbert. I believe that.
Of course.
But I do think that if Herbert had Andy Reid, I think he may get an MVP and a Super Bowl. Because if I'm throwing for 4,000 yards with whoever that is, let's just keep it real. You give me Andy Reid, I might have 5,000.
But we can have that conversation about a lot of talent.
Well, my boy, who I really rock with for years, he did the if game. If Joe Burrow get hurt, so if we doing the ifs, right? Keep it real. If you put Herbert, because one thing about Herbert, like I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. I'm just keep it real. That's my boy. But if we talking about this talent, I don't see a lot of guys that's more talented than Herbert. Same way we looked at Aaron Rodgers. This dude's talented. So now you throw him with Andy Reid, right? Now, hold up. I'm not hating on Pat, because Pat is better than Herbert. Let's get that straight. But let's take Pat out the way, though. You put Herbert there. Now, I don't say who will do more. I'm just saying Herbert's going to do more than what he was already doing. That's all I'm saying.
It would be fun. That would be
You can respect that, right?
Yeah.
I should be a lawyer. I'm at the wrong job. You know what I mean?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.